Hi everybody, it's Noreen and welcome to my kitchen. Except I'm sitting in my kitchen, you just can't see me this morning. It is Friday and I really wanted to take the opportunity to share with you a few of my favorite holiday readings this year. And I have a few, probably more than that I'm going to fit in this year, but I have to pick and choose and really decide which ones I want to share. So this is a really good opportunity for me to share this one with you. I'm going to call these quiet Christmas moments because I think we get so wrapped up in the busy and the getting and the doing and the working, and that I think sometimes some of us can tend to start to really dislike what we're going through, and I think this is one of the reasons why so many people have trouble with this time of year. So I think that if we really sit back for a minute and just really enjoy and get to the heart of what the season really is all about, then we can really love it a lot more and enjoy it a lot more and see it for what it really is. So without further ado, I wanted to share a little bit of history behind the reading that I'm going to do. And everybody knows, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. Well, maybe not everybody. Maybe there are a few of you who don't. But I just wanted to read this little piece, this little paragraph, the history behind it, and then I'm going to read the letters that were involved in this. So, in 1897, Dr. Philip O'Hanlon, a coroner's assistant on Manhattan's Upper West Side, was asked by his then 8-year-old daughter Virginia whether Santa Claus really existed. O'Hanlon suggested she write to The Sun, a prominent New York City newspaper at the time, assuring her that if you see it in the sun, it's so. He unwittingly gave one of the paper's editors, Francis Pharcellus Church, an opportunity to rise above the simple question and address the philosophical issues behind it. Church was a war correspondent during the American Civil War, a time which saw great suffering and corresponding lack of hope and faith in much of society. Although the paper ran the editorial in the 7th place on the page, below everyone on the newly invented chainless bicycle, its message was very moving to many people who read it. More than a century later, it remains the most reprinted editorial ever to run in any newspaper in the English language. In 1971, after seeing Virginia's obituary in the New York Times, 4 friends formed a company called the Elizabeth Press and published a children's book titled Yes, Virginia that illustrated the editorial and included a brief history of the main characters. Its creators took it to Warner Brothers, who eventually made the Emmy Award-winning television show based on the editorial. The History Channel, in a special that aired on February 21, 2001, noted that Virginia gave the original letter to a granddaughter who pasted it in a scrapbook. It was feared that the letter was destroyed in a house fire, but 30 years later it was discovered intact. Some people have questioned the veracity of the letter's authorship, expressing doubt that a young girl such as Virginia would refer to children of her own age as my little friends. The original letter, however, appeared and was authenticated in 1998, and an appraiser on the Antiques Roadshow appraised the letter at between $20,000 and $30,000. And you can look at this for yourself on the museum website, and I'll post that link below. So without further ado, I give you Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. 8-year-old Virginia O'Hanlon wrote a letter to the editor of New York's Sun, and the quick response was printed as an unsigned editorial September 21, 1897. The work of veteran newsman Francis Pharcellus Church has since become history's most reprinted newspaper editorial, appearing in part or whole in dozens of languages, in books, movies, and other editorials, and on posters and stamps. Dear Editor, I am 8 years old. Some of my little friends say there is no Santa Claus. Papa says if you see it in the sun, it's so. Please tell me the truth. Is there a Santa Claus? Virginia O'Hanlon, 115 West 95th Street. And the response that Virginia got is as follows. Virginia, your little friends are wrong. They have been affected by the skepticism of a skeptical age. They do not believe except what they see. They think that nothing can be which is not comprehensible to their little minds. All minds, Virginia, whether they be men's or children's, are little. In this great universe of ours, man is a mere insect, an ant in his intellect, as compared with the boundless world about him, as measured by the intelligence capable of grasping the whole of truth and knowledge. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. He exists as certainly as love and generosity and devotion exist. And you know that they abound and give to your life its highest beauty and joy. Alas, how dreary would be the world if there were no Santa Claus. It would be as dreary as if there were no Virginias. There would be no childlike faith then, no poetry, no romance to make tolerable this existence. We should have no enjoyment except in sense and sight. The eternal light with which childhood fills the world would be extinguished. Not believe in Santa Claus. You might as well not believe in fairies. You might get your papa to hire men to watch in all the chimneys on Christmas Eve to catch Santa Claus. But even if they did not see Santa Claus coming down, what would that prove? Nobody sees Santa Claus. But that is no sign that there is no Santa Claus. The most real things in the world are those that neither children nor men can see. Did you ever see fairies dancing on the lawn? Of course not. But that's no proof that they are not there. Nobody can conceive or imagine all the wonders there are unseen and unseeable in this world. You may tear apart the baby's rattle and see what makes noise inside. But there is a veil covering the unseen world, which not the strongest men, nor the united strength of all the strongest men that ever lived could tear apart. Only faith, fancy, poetry, love, romance can push aside that curtain and view and picture the supernal beauty and glory beyond. Is it all real? Ah, Virginia, in all this world there is nothing else real and abiding. No Santa Claus, thank God. He lives, and he lives forever. 1,000 years from now, Virginia, nay, 10,000 times 10,000 years from now, he will continue to make glad the heart of childhood. And that is the letter that Virginia received back from the Sun newspaper all those many years ago. And I think that we can all take some lesson from that, because there are many things that we get skeptical about in this life. And the hustle and bustle of preparations for the holidays can be one of those. We can get bogged down. We can stop seeing what the holidays really are for, and we can start to really become disenchanted. But I ask you to step back and take a breather and this quiet Christmas moment and reflect on what really is important and how unfun the holidays might be if we didn't interject all of that magic back into it and look at them through a child's eyes. So, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you take it with you, and I hope you share it. And until next time, Merry Christmas.